froze up there again for some reason, or at least my screen did. So this is the men, and now when we allow women to serve, they're still gonna be there. They're still gonna be willing to serve, right? We're, by the way, assuming this is somehow we know the optimal quantity of people to be in the military. There's, of course, the how do you know that question, other considerations, but okay. So now what happens when we allow women to serve equally? Well, we're going to have the men, and then we're going to have some women. So this dot would move out into the right, and this dot would move out into the right. We'd end up with a new supply schedule, an aggregate supply schedule. In other words, we're adding a bunch of stuff together because we're adding all the men and all the women. And so now the question is, well, we only need now the wage for people in the military is going to fall if we hold the quantity constant. And in order to staff the military appropriately, now I'm going to put in some letters here. So the total cost with just the men, right? I'll call that situation one. The total cost versus the total expense. Yeah, total expense and total cost. I have to get my notation right here. Total cost. Well, again, you can pause this and hopefully you'll see that it's B, D, and E. Cost, 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 cost. And the total expense, A, B, C, D, and E. And the total cost, once we permit women to serve equally in the military, that is just going to be E. And the total expense is going to be C, D, and E. And so the change in total cost is a result of allowing women to serve equally in the military. And again, we don't care about expense, really. I mean, politicians do. What we as economists care about is the cost, the value that we give up. And it turns out what's happened. Our new, so total change is going to be new minus old. Our new minus our old. The change is a negative B and D. What's it mean that it's negative? Now, we don't know the actual numbers, and that doesn't matter because what we care about is the magnitude here. What has happened? If we get a negative value, it means the cost has gone down. If you get a positive value, it means it's gone up. So is this a good thing or a bad thing? This is clearly a good thing, allowing women to serve equally in the military, at least on this margin. Again, I'm not going to dive into a larger debate here, but on this margin, it clearly says, A, we would want a volunteer military, even though it's going to be more expensive. And B, we would want women and men and basically anybody who wants to, whatever they may identify as, to be able to show up in the military. We don't want to exclude people on that margin, right? So that's our first big policy debate that we can actually bring these tools to bear on.